Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
After Huangdi, 3 chieftains successively emerged in China. All 3 of them had high virtues, so that they were regarded as models by later monarchs. Their period is also called the Ancient Virtuous King period. Their 3 were named Yao, Shun, and Yu. Their time is recorded in history, but no evidence of their existence, so the period remains mythological. Among them, the saga of Hou Yi's shooting sons happened in the time of Yao. Yao was the descendant of Huangdi. During his reign, the world was peaceful and the people lived and worked in peace and contentment. He set up a whole political system to appoint officials to run affairs, which shows that the social structure of the time was beginning to transition from loose tribal alliances to states. Yao appointed his subordinates to observe the changes of the seasons, and compiled the seasonal changes into a calendar for farmers to use. During this period, Chinese society had completely changed from hunting to farming, and farming became the main way of life for people. This social structure was not broken until the last 100 years. During the reign of Yao, a great flood happened in China. Many mountains were flooded and people suffered serious disasters. Yao appointed Gun to control the flood. Gun built dams to block the flood so as to prevent the downstream from being submerged. This lasted for 9 years without any obvious effect. Yao was so angry that he exiled Gun, but some people say Gun was killed by Yao. By this time Yao was more than 90 years old, so he resigned and handed over the task of prevent floods by water control to his successor Shun. By the way, ancient China was not the familiar hereditary system in which the monarch died and his descendants succeeded to the throne, but a system called crown abdication. Choose a person who is recognized by everyone as capable. This process is similar to the selection of archons in ancient Greece, but the difference is that in this the opinion of the previous leader is decisive. In this assessment process, the most important thing is filial piety, respect for parents. Ancient Chinese people valued this above all else. It is generally believed that only by respecting one's parents can one respect others and deal with affairs fairly. On the other hand, if one is not respect his parents, will certainly not respect others. Note that filial piety is the lowest standard for evaluating a person in ancient China. If a person does not respect his parents, then he will be called not filial son. This is a very humiliating title. Such a person will be hated by others, and even lose their office. Shun was chosen as his successor because of his filial piety. Shun's father preferred his youngest son Xiang to Shun and tried to kill Shun many times. Even so, Shun respected his father. In modern times, this kind of thing is not normal, but in ancient China, parents had almost unlimited power over their children. Confucius once said, "If your parents beat you with a stick, put up with it. If your parents beat you to death, you should run." Because there is nothing wrong with parents beating you, but you can't let parents take the blame for killing their children. Yao found Shun, and married both of his daughters to him, so that they could observe whether Shun could be a qualified leader, and at last Yao passed the throne to Shun. After Shun became chief, he appointed Yu, Gun's son, to control the flood. Yu summed up his father's failure and decided to use dredging to control the flood. He dredged the river to allow the water to flow smoothly downstream, and developed tributaries to irrigate the surrounding dry land. It took him 13 years to control the flood, so that the course of the rivers in China was basically fixed. It is remarkable that when Yu was controlling the flood, he passed by his house 3 times, but he was too busy to go home to see his wife and children. By the time Yu returned home, his children had grown up. Because of Yu's great achievements, Yu succeeded Shun's. After Yu ascended the throne, he divided the country into 9 parts, each of which was called Zhou. At the same time, he ordered the casting of 9 large ding, engraved on the customs of 9 regions, convenient for travelers to understand. The most important thing that Yu did was that he passed the throne to his son before his death, breaking the previous rules, and the family-ruled state emerged. His son Qi founded the first slave country in Chinese history, Xia Dynasty. If you like our video, remember to like it and subscribe. We will bring you more stories about China. See you next time.